guess it started. I don't even realize when the live starts, I'm starting to press buttons and things don't exactly work for me right. I got music going today. That's pretty exciting. Welcome everybody to Highly Motivated Wednesday Smoke Sesh. It's exciting. It's awesome. It's community. It's power. It's education. It's enthusiasm. It's true high motivation. So we're here together as a smoke community. And you can probably hear it in the background. We've got some creepy music going on because Halloween is tomorrow. I'm excited. I'm dressing up as a pirate. That's it. I mean, just R all day long. But no, tomorrow I'm dressing up as a pirate. My little daughter, she's dressing up as the cutest cat that I think I've ever seen in my entire life. And yeah, it's going to be a very creepy, spooky, kind of kooky kind of day. But that's tomorrow. And big things are going to be happening this weekend as well. If you're in Florida, I will be at Mount Dora at the CannaFest, or however it's called. I'll look it up and I'll find the exact terminology of it. But it's the CannaFest or the Mount Dora Cannabis Fest. That's just what I'm going to call it then. The Mount Dora, Florida Cannabis Fest. And let me just turn off this. Let me turn off the spooky music. Okay, there we go. It's better. Spooky music is off. So that's a little more exciting. Okay. And here we are tonight, just kind of hanging out. No topics. I mean, I have a few. You know, we can go over tonight the cannabis basics and the major cannabinoids. We could talk about, you know, what's going to be most beneficial for you to be able to begin with if you're just getting into cannabis. But before we get too serious and before we get into too many different topics or too many questions as they might start to come in. So before we get too far, let's go ahead and light this up. It's a clear paper I did this evening, vegetable, if you see that. So it's a vegetable wrap. And inside this vegetable wrap, I want to let you know I've got my favorite. That's why I'm like, I think I'm overly excited tonight because I have my favorite, which is Emerald Apricot. Emerald Apricot it's a sativa. It's got all the right terpenes, all the right profiles, and it moves all the right directions. So what I'm going to do, we're just going to quickly light this up. And tonight we might talk a little bit about, you know, about the combination and about what is THC exactly, what is CBD, what is THCV, or even CBN. These are the major cannabinoids I really love to talk about. But then we break down to CBG and CBC, even start talking about CBGA in her acidics. Maybe tonight we'll talk about a little bit about the Delta 8 and what exactly that is and my own opinions of it. THCA and CBDA and how, again, that's going to be more beneficial and why the acidic is important. What did I do? How did I get wet? I got wet on something. Something got me. Okay. So thank you for joining me tonight on Highly Motivated. It's an exciting, energetic evening. I'm getting actually ready mentally somewhat for, sorry, looking for my notes at the same time. I'm getting ready for the event this weekend at CannaFest or Cannabis Fest in Mount Dora. Very excited. Zik Productions, I think that is. So I just wanted to light up my zoink, my doink-a-doink. The my 1.5 to 2 grammer. I didn't measure it out, but I'm pretty sure this is sitting at a pretty healthy, pretty healthy 2 grams, maybe a gram and 3/4. So again, everybody, thank you for joining me. What are we talking about tonight? I don't know. You know, there's so much going on in the world. There's so much absolute wildness. I mean, Halloween is tomorrow. And the reason I take Halloween as a big deal, that's the night that the veil, you know, the veil between spirit realms, or not even spirit realms. Look, you're a spirit. I'm a spirit. We're all spirits. And currently we're all inhabiting these meat suits that we're wearing, these costumes, because we're wearing a costume. But because of this, somehow we are dampered and we're not able to I guess, see or hear or be in touch directly with spirits of the realm. So tomorrow night, that veil is very thin. That crossing boundary between the two, very thin. So that's what Halloween is. And I'd love to hear about some people's costumes. I'd love to hear what you consider, so bright. I can't do this. It's so bright. Hold on. There we go. Oh, that's a little better. Oh, I wear these shades because that light coming at me the whole time is it's blinding. Mm. So I want to let you know I'm smoking my absolute favorite from Goldflower, Ideal brand. I just opened this up. I just rolled the big Zoinka Doinka Doink. Zoinka Doinka Doink. I think every day I'm adding words onto it. But it's childproof, so I have a difficulty. I want to show you the bud. Now look at that. Isn't that delicious? Isn't that beautiful bud right there? That right there is the Emerald Apricot, my absolute drop-down favorite from Goldflower Cannabis. Oh, the aroma is like there's a stink of orange, like a stinky orange, but then there's lemons and lime and there's so many different flavors that come together, especially when you start to smoke it. The aroma itself is just intoxicating, and I could it's like a fruit basket, almost like a tropical fruit basket. I love that. The aroma does healing powers. So this one right here is, let me see. Let's see what we're looking at here. This is sitting at 30.5%. That's pretty high. I don't usually smoke anything higher than 30% because it starts getting a little harsh. We're losing out on terpene profiles. But no, this one's sitting at 30%, and the terps are at 1.9. So almost 2%. That's excellent. That's excellent. Look, terpenes, I really never remember terpenes going higher than like 1.3%. And my shirt seems a little too comfortable. I don't really remember terpenes going much higher than like 1.5, 1.7. And recent cultivars have been pushing those boundaries and finding the phenotypes that have incredible terpenes. Finding the strains and running with that where you have batches that your terpenes are hitting over 4%. Wow, that's incredible. So this one, Emerald Apricot, my absolute fave. We're smoking that tonight. And what are we talking about? We're just, let's talk a little bit future of cannabis. I think maybe it'd be fun to approach. Oh, notes didn't come out. What happened there? Oh, let me look. Okay. So I wanted to talk about a myriad of things, and I wanted to talk about like the top 10 of what to get into when you're first starting cannabis. So I think let's start top 10. Let's do maybe a starting off with cannabis. So, you're diving into cannabis, and it's not just a plant. You realize that this right here is a superfood. It's a powerful medicinal properties that are both for topical, for edible, for your stomach. Hey, welcome to the show. When you start looking at just getting into cannabis, and I wish I could have like a top 10 of what do you need? Where do you start? What's happening? Because there's so much. And me, myself, I've been smoking my entire life. I've been growing my entire life. But getting into cannabis, I had to unlearn and relearn everything. So the first number one, when getting into cannabis, I really feel the number one is without, God, it's so bright. I'm so glad I got these glasses. Without them, I wouldn't be able to comfortably see in this room. I think the number one when you're starting off in cannabis, number one, it's not just a plant. It's a superfood. It's powerful medicine. And thanks to its cannabinoids and terpenes and so much more, it's magic. It's magic when you smoke the plant on its own. It's magic when you eat the plant. It's magic when you do those things in combination. When you use certain strains. Like when I say THCV, that is found in sativas. That is found in Durban strains. Durban, I believe, in Maui Wowie strains are very high in THCV. So it's using those and full plant medicine and making a tea and creating CBGA in her acidic form. We'll go over that in a moment. So getting into it, it's not just a plant, it's a superfood. That's one of the most exciting things. Number two, next thing you get in, after you learn that it's a superfood, after you learn that everywhere from the seeds to the stem to the leaves to eating it or juicing it or making a tea, it's not just about getting high. A little smoky smoke. Okay. Number two is THC. So what is, THC, everybody knows. That's the one everybody's heard of. So let's talk about it. It's the main psychoactive component that gives you the high feeling. But THC, it's the glue. It's the glue. Look, THC alone doesn't really do anything. A distillate THC attached to terpenes or cannabinoid terpenes or botanical terpenes, that terp may shape it a little bit, and it's only bonding, but it's really only getting you high for a moment. Like when you smoke a distillate. You smoke distillates, you're always chasing a high. When you smoke a rosin, now it's full plant medicine, and you're actually able to, instead of chasing this high and always trying to get higher and higher, it brings you to a level that you can regiment and you can microdose and you can stay like that for much longer periods of time because it's full plant medicine. It's not just a singular cannabinoid. But welcome to the show, everybody. We're talking about kind of the top 10 of, what do you look into when you first get into cannabis? What is important to you? So we're just going to talk about the basics, and we're going to talk about how those basics, incorporate in. So I said THC. THC, though, on its own is not enough. You need THC to bond CBD. See, this is where I get excited about CBD. And we're going to talk, number 3, let's talk CBD. So number 1, it's not just a plant, it's a superfood. It's a magic when used in combination. Number 2 is THC. That's one of the things we need to learn about, how it bonds and binds to the CB1 receptors in the brain. It makes it for mood elevation, pain relief, and yes, it creates energy, but paired with certain terpenes, not necessarily it being a sativa or an indica. That really just depicts how the plant looks, like the actual plant. Like sativas are tall and indicas are short and they bush out, and sativas go tall and they leaf out a little bit. That's it. That's sativa, that's indica. But for the sake of learning cannabis and becoming, just kind of jumping newly into it, we're not going to jump so deeply into that yet. So let's talk number 3, CBD. So I don't know, I guess CBD to me is the calming agent. CBD on its own only really lasts in the body for maybe 3 to 4 hours. It doesn't really bond to the fat receptors. It needs THC. So that's where it gets really exciting. CBD works its magic once THC bonds it to the body. And you don't need large amounts of THC, just a little bit. Just a little bit of THC bonds CBD to the CB1 and CB2 receptors of the body, giving it more time, more ability to fan out and become the multi-spectrum healing agent that it is. So, it doesn't get you high on its own. And even with small amounts of THC, CBD regulates out that high. It doesn't necessarily stop you from getting high, but it spreads it throughout the body in a way where you're not feeling it all at one time. But it has so many things inside of it. Once THC is combined with CBD, now it's fantastic for anti-anxiety, anti-inflammatory. It interacts directly with the CB2 receptors. THC reacts with the CB1. CBD is actually reacting with the CB2. By using THC and CBD together, you are getting these two reactors, the two reactors in your body, the two receptors in your body to start paying attention together, creating this magic that happens in synergy together. That's why I get excited. I get excited about the combination. I get excited about, you know, where cannabis comes in and starts managing your immune system. It reduces inflammation in the body, in the brain, in the muscles. Wow. It's the combination. Look, I'll tell you, before starting today, I was pretty lethargic. I was pretty rough. I was feeling a little slow. Started smoking some of this emerald apricot, and immediately, I can feel this kind of rushing right up to the brain. So instead of it really giving me a lot of body energy, it's giving me a lot of brain energy, a lot of ooh, so I have to stay on notes. I have to stay good at okay. So number 3 was CBD and the amazingness that THC and CBD have together. Lately, I've been talking a lot about, and this was number 4, is THCV. THC with a V, victory. You know, I've talked about it a lot because in combination, this cannabinoid, it changed my life. I was lazy and lethargic and without wanting of purpose, I was melting into my couch, gaining weight, refusing to go outside during the daytime. You know, no sunlight would touch this body. And the long story short of it, sativas reawakened my senses, my emotions, my brain. Sativas are vasodilators, and they started getting my body moving and my nerves reawakening. Sativas, eating raw cannabis changed my metabolism. Now we're talking. Now we're saying, wait a second. What is this craziness that you're talking, Oren? Eating raw cannabis changes your metabolism. It started healing my stomach where I had IBS. I believe I had not Crohn's, but acid reflux so bad that I felt it up to here. Acid reflux so bad that I wouldn't be able to eat or I wouldn't be able to drink. I wouldn't be able to do anything because the way it would just take over my entire body. I would look at food, I would gain weight. That was it. I mean, I was already pretty heavy as it is, but when I say pretty heavy, I was over 360 at my heaviest. Maybe for me, I'm a short guy. It packs on quickly. Now, right now, I think I'm sitting at like 200. I'm hoping less. I'm hoping like 190, 180. But I hide it well. Muscle weighs more than fat, and that's what we're gonna go with. All right, that's just how I'm gonna say it. So THCV, eating raw cannabis, making the tea. So when I talk about using things in combination, and I talk about the synergy of cannabinoids, here's what I mean. Let's make a RSO or a rosin or a FECO, it's FECO, I think. FECO sounds really bad, but FECO oil with or a good rosin oil with a sativa. Smoking the sativa is more for immediate pain relief, immediate nerve and bone pain relief. See, sativas, or again, sativa terpene, we'll call it, helps with nerve pain, helps with bone pain. And indicas in the couch, which again, it's only really the shapes of plants, but blah, blah, blah. Indica in the couch helps, oh my God, brain, helps with mind and muscle relaxation. So sometimes when you have a headache, a sativa, especially if you're getting like a migraine and you need to stop that rush of mind chemical. What is going on with me today? I've been driving a lot. I was in Tampa all day. I did St. Pete to Largo to Clearwater up and around. into Tampa Central. It was a crazy day today. So all that driving, I don't think my brain is working properly. And I stopped for gas and I'm sat there, I'm filling up. I'm like, I gotta keep going, gotta keep going. So little time, so little time, so much to do. But that's my work ethic. When I get out there, it's instead of being like, oh, I've got hours to go or miles to drive, for me, it's an adventure. For me, like, look, I left super early this morning and I watched the sun come up. Oranges, colors of orange and like a pink orange and just taking over the sky. And then all of a sudden, boom, bright sun comes out to play in the morning. That is magical. That gets the soul awake, realizing the beauty that a day can be, especially that early. So I started off early. I left like, I don't know, like 6, something like that. And then I got back just now. I mean, just before the show. I started the show, what, maybe 5, 6, 7, 8 minutes late because I got home, I changed my shirt, and boom, right here. That's the kind of day it was. That's crazy. That's how fast my day is. But I wasn't always like this. Sativas they reinvigorated me. I was eating sativas raw, sativas with Durban strains, so THCV heavy. I was chewing it like and just chewing and swallowing. I would make a tea and decarboxylate it below 250 degrees. That way, because cannabis starts to change and decarboxylate into its different cannabinoids at 250 degrees. So I try to keep it there or right below that so that your body's kind of doing a live decarboxylation. Wow, it's some amazing things. And that's when you're dealing with CBG A. And then maybe you say you do gummies that are high in THCV, or you've extracted THCV and made a butter from it, or an RSO. Doing that kind of a combination, even together, maybe putting that directly in your tea. Ooh, now we're talking about magic. Magic that can help people with Parkinson's, with Alzheimer's. I know it seems like I'm all over the map, but that's what cannabis is. It's all over the map in the capabilities of its healing. So we were talking, that was THCV. It's, you know, they even say it suppresses appetite. It regulates insulin control in the body. That's THCV. So that was number 4. So just to really quickly recap, number 1, cannabis is not just a plant, it's a superfood. It's amazing, it's so much more. THC being the glue, the bonding agent for CBD and all the other cannabinoids to be able to bond to the CB1 and CB2 receptors. Remember, CB1 really is being immediately controlled by THC. And your CB2 is now being controlled by CBD. And in any plant that I'm smoking, there is CBD and there's THC. There's also a multitude of other cannabinoids that are getting activated as the heat hits it. But when I'm smoking a joint, it's a lot of heat. Like the cherry that you create at the end of a joint. That can burn really, really, really hot. And that burns off all the beneficial cannabinoids that could be also helping your body in different ways. Okay, so number 2 is THC, number 3 was CBD, and then of course CBD without THC doesn't work. That's a quick thing I want to mention. CBD on its own, you would have to take a lot of CBD all the time to be able to I think it's the paper, the plastic paper. I've noticed, but I don't know, that's really flavorful in my mouth. There's a lot of resin building up from, you know, from the joint itself. You see how juicy that is. Wow. That's a gorgeous resin roll. And that's probably why it will go out very easily, but So number 4 was THCV. And then we came all the way down, and now we're at number 5, CBN. CBN, it's THC, but it's old THC. So if you have an old bag of weed, there's a high probability that the THC has degraded and has left, and if it looks kind of brown and a little bit orange, that means it's going to be much higher in CBN. CBN, it helps regulate the sleep centers of the body. It can be, it has sedative effects, but only natural sedative effects. It doesn't make you feel heavy like an indica can feel, but instead it naturally helps the body get, and activate those centers of the brain to allow you to fall asleep when you're tired instead of keeping you awake. Now it's also, it helps. Okay. So in studies, they say it helps regrow bone. Very slow. I don't think it's regrowing bone. I think instead it's helping to stop the degradation of bone deteriorative diseases, CBN. I know that gets pretty exciting, doesn't it? Okay, number 6. Let's talk about CBG, the mother of all cannabinoids, or the mother cannabinoid. So it's the precursor. So it's what happens before THC and CBD come to the picture. It's CBG, and it's known for its anti-inflammatory, antibacterial. It's some of its research points and potential in supporting brain health and neural pathways, CBG, but also helps with brain health, as in it helps with brain plasticity, especially for people with, say, Parkinson's, Alzheimer's, dementia. Some of the research that's being done on this is incredible. Number 7, let's talk CBC. So this is the mood booster. This is the one that changes the way you actually feel. It's lesser known by most, but it packs an incredible punch when it comes to being an antidepressant. It's a mood lifting qualities. It has, it works directly or very well with other cannabinoids, not on its own. Like you'd have to add almost the effects of it to amplify. So with full spectrum healing and added CBC, how it's added, I'm not quite sure, as an isolate, I imagine, but the CBC boosts the full plant healing, and it works as a happy drug or a happy mood booster, especially for those people with, fighting depression and that are on lots of antidepressants, which can actually make you more depressed. CBC, C, Charlie Bravo Charlie, would be something that you should definitely look into. All right, number 8. So it's weird because number 8 shares a number with CBG. So this is CBGA. This is if CBG is the mother of cannabinoids, this is kind of its stem cells. In its acidic form, it's sometimes called the stem cell of cannabinoids because it's not only the precursor to cannabinoids, but it's a huge anti-inflammatory. It's great for digestive health. It's great for as raw cannabis, so it works its magic. But CBG, the A, stands for the acidic. So now we're dealing with something that hasn't yet changed or decarboxylated. And normally CBGA is if you're eating raw cannabis. So if you're chewing raw cannabis and you emaciate it in your mouth, like you chew it until it's absolute juice, then you swallow it. Okay. Now we're getting much closer to what the acidic, you're getting acidics. You're getting CBG as it's beginning to decarboxylate or becoming, there's no THC yet, really. There's no CBD yet. Nothing is that, because heat has not really been applied other than what your body is putting it through. The digestive system is putting it through. So that would be the definitely the beginnings of any acidics. So number 9, I wanted to talk about deltas, the delta 8, but all of that is going to be extracted from the male marijuana. So I think, and anything that they extract from hemp, which is the male marijuana, they're having to use chemicals to extract larger amounts. At least a lot of the suppliers are. They're having to use chemicals or ethanols and butane to be able to extract larger amounts of cannabinoids or full spectrum amounts from the hemp plant. I mean, I've seen it. I've seen them doing rosin presses with it, and I've seen some of the results. Okay, I mean, but it's just as costly. It's just as costly to turn around and buy hemp, like a high quality, super high quality Delta 8, Delta 9, Delta 10 hemp, as opposed to a super high quality female marijuana, not the male hemp, but the female cannabis sativa. That's the shit we smoke. That's on the medical side here in Florida. There's a huge difference, not just in flavor, not just in taste, not just in harshness. I can't smoke hemp. For me, anything male marijuana is so super harsh, it kills me. I mean, it kills me. Who's here? We got first, last, about to butt chug a bowl of cookies and cream to this cheers. Sounds fantastic. Oh, wait, you're butt chugging? And I read this out. And that's hysterical. That's funny. Thank you. And thank you, first, last, for bringing that into the mix. Thank you for, yeah. So I guess when it comes to talking about deltas, I really don't, because I don't get into the hemp side of it. I like to stay with cannabis sativa, which is the female marijuana plant, not the male marijuana. Again, that's hemp, female. So with the female marijuana, you can extract a lot of these cannabinoids without having to go through butane or ethanol extractions. Again, I do love rosin. I think rosin is the most pure, beautiful form. If you're going to press out the take the bud and you're going to press its oils out, now we're dealing with a full spectrum cannabis product. We're dealing, other than with the organic protein of it. So let's get to my number 10, THCA and CBDA. So in its raw form, that's when we get to CBGA, THCA, and CBDA. When you consume raw cannabis, you're actually getting THCA and CBDA. The acidic forms of THC and CBD, they aren't psychoactive, but have great anti-inflammatory neuroprotective properties. When you're chewing and eating raw cannabis, you're getting that THCA and CBDA in its acidic forms. Because again, within your body, this is doing a live decarboxylation. It's still changing. I guess it's not decarboxylating, but it is. I mean, it's going through blood and process and digestion. So I guess, ooh, this has a runner. Ooh, look at that run. Okay. See that? It just popped up out of nowhere. That right there, that's a joint killer, because now all the airflow is going to want to go through there. And unfortunately, it's just going to keep pulling. But I'm going to try to save it, because that's what I'm all about. I'm going to try to save it. I don't want to just let it go. I want to thank all of our new listeners and viewers this evening. Just want to let you know we are streaming on YouTube, on Facebook, on LinkedIn, and on Twitch. So these are the places that you can find us tonight. Instagram, we will be doing on Sunday. I don't know, actually. This weekend, I'm going to be in Mount Dora. If you're in Florida, this weekend, Mount Dora's got a cannabis festival going on Saturday and Sunday. It's a 2-day event. It's going to be fire. Afroman, see how it's not hitting right? Afroman is going to be there on Sunday. Because I got high, because I got high, because I got high. Da-da-da-dum-dum-dum. I was gonna clean my room, but I forgot the fucking words, and I don't give a shit. And I got high. Yeah. Okay. So he's gonna be. See, I lost viewers when I start singing. That's it. That's crazy stuff. But no worse than first, last butt chugging things. So if you're in Florida and you're in Mount Dora and you want to go to a cannabis festival, Mount Dora is like above Orlando-ish, if that helps, and below Ocala. So below Ocala and below the Villages, below Leesburg, if that helps. And then above Orlando, so in between there somewhere, is Mount Dora, and they have a really huge place called the Renegers Flea Market. So it's Renegers or Renegers, whatever. I butchered the name, and that's just what I'm going to do. But the Renegers Flea Market, and this weekend they have a cannabis fest. I will be there yelling and screaming with my golden megaphone. I don't know where my golden megaphone's gone. My golden megaphone is gone. Oh, I will have to look for it. But anyways, I will be there, megaphone or not, yelling and screaming the grandest of all cannabises, and that's for Goldflower. So I will be there representing them, talking, doing pop-up educational booths. We will be, I believe they have giveaways. There's going to be, I mean, I can't tell you because I don't know. I mean, I know it's going to be amazing. I just don't know what they're doing. I will also possibly bring the golden wheel of magical fortune. That's what I'm calling it. I have a wheel right over here. It's a fantastic wheel that when you spin it, you can win a number of things, like a grow tour, or maybe a swag bag or a free pre-roll. Mostly I see swag bags and grow tours. Ooh, and a cup. I don't know what this cup is. It could be a grand cup, but there's only one with a cup. Okay, I'm just reading the wheel off to you. Oh, shit. Right. This one's quite quite powerful, quite nice. Let me Well, maybe I saved it. Okay. So let's get back to my top 10, top 15, top 20, whatever it is. It's like top 15. But I was talking about THCA and CBDA and how your body does get it from eating raw cannabis. Okay. Number 11. The number 11 thing, or I guess the number 10 thing, depending since I took one out. The number 11 thing is the entourage effect. It's understanding that there's power in the synergy and combination of cannabis, not singular THCs. So what's a singular THC? It's one that's been extracted from the plant and put into, say, a vape. A vape that's just a distillate, meaning they've added flavors and it's a singular THC, still beneficial, still tasty, still yummy. I mean, and I do prefer more of a broad spectrum cannabis distillate. That way you're getting more than just THC, but you're getting more of the other cannabinoids to help them all work with that synergistic effect. So that's the entourage. You know, it's where cannabinoids and terpenes and flavonoids and aroma work together, amplifying each other's effect to work together in one synergistic effect. You know, depending on what you're, you know, depending on what direction that you're looking to shape your cannabis adventure. I don't know why, but these glasses are making me sweat. Woo, it's hot in here today. Okay. All right. We'll take them off for a second, but it's just so bright. Can't. So everything has its benefits. And that's why I did want to include an educational understanding of whole plant medicine versus isolates. So you compare whole plant products to isolates. Whole plant or full spectrum means you get all the cannabinoids and terpenes, you know, and flavonoids working together. With isolates, it just gives you a single compound. And I'm always one who argues against the individual cannabis compound. I believe it needs to work together in a synergy. And that's flavor and aroma, and everything as natural as humanly possible. This emerald apricot, and sorry, not sorry, but it's got my brain racing. From the beginning of this conversation, I've noticed, because before this I was a little slow. I actually was smoking on the And this is rosin. This is a full spectrum vape. Um, no, and it's done solventless. That means no solvents were used in the extraction of this cannabis. Do you see that color? Do you see how gorgeous that is? That is delicious. This is an indica though, called Old Car Smell, also from Goldflower. So this is Old Car Smell. Let me tell you something. This is so stinky, so cheesy, like, but in such a good way. Your body, and I talk about it a lot. I mean, I'll sit here and go stinky and cheesy and gassy. These are the aromas and terpenes that you smell and you taste. And as you inhale them, they work this magic in creating a wave, excuse me, of where your cannabis adventure is going to take you, or where that magic needs to work in order to heal you so you can feel better. For example, I do sativas to heal my nerve and bone pain. I have a lot of bone pain. I have a lot of nerve pain. So when they're flaring and activating and just attacking me, I am, I can't think. And I can't, I'm not as kind as I could be because I'm in pain. But it's not an excuse. But when I smoke, now that pain subsides, and I realize sometimes where I'm not as kind as I could be, and I try to go back and make amends, and where you can't make amends, you just keep going. I know, not the best. Yeah, keep trying. You just keep trying. I always try. Or I just try not to be snappy. I try not to let the pain bother me to where people see it outside of me until I'm capable of smoking like an emerald apricot. Now, I had burning in my feet or my toes, in between somewhere around there, and I can't feel a lot in my foot. That took it away. My legs, my shins have been on fire. That took it away in both legs. So that made me feel a lot better. And that was the emerald apricot I was just smoking. 30% THC, almost 2% on the terpenes. And I'll tell you, in this batch, I tasted it more. I didn't get to smell. I don't think the smell was beautiful, but it wasn't as powerful as I have smelled emerald apricot before. But the taste was much better and did not disappoint. So if you like Goldflower and you like emerald apricot, it's back. It's out for just a little while. Also, I picked up something called Candy Rain. Oh, it's a hybrid Leaning Indica. I'm going to smoke that later on tonight. Um, when I got home, I smoked some Grape Gas. Grape Gas is an indica for sure. So I think that's why at the beginning of the show, I was just kind of like, hey, I'm here. Because I got home, shared a joint, smoky, came running here to the show. And I like for the immediate change of mood or energy to be shown live here on the podcast so that you kind of see how that strain reacts to me and how the flavor or the taste, like, I don't know why they call it apricot. It's probably because of maybe something that it's crossed with. And I've smoked strains that have been pheno hunt with emerald apricot or crossed with, and really delicious. But I think on its own, it's very powerful. It's very powerful. Like I feel the rush mentally. So it's hard to concentrate completely. So I'm going to get back to my notes and smoke a little Old Car Smell, which is definitely an indica. Maybe it'll slow me just a bit. I also have Chimera number 4 in rosin. Isn't that fancy? Look at that little case. Yeah. Anyways, and look, just you won't see it. I'll show it to you just because I want to. Okay. Look at that. That's delicious. Now that's a hybrid leaning indica-esque. So there's Chimera 2, which is an indica. Chimera 4 is more of a sativa. It's interesting how different variations of the same plant can lean chemically one way or another. I find that exciting. I find that just the beginning of the excitement of things. So, okay. So we were talking about whole plant versus isolates and why. So let's talk terpenes and the aromatic effect. So that'd be more number 13 here. So they're not just about the smell. They add their own effects, their own, like myrcene is relaxing, while limonene can lift your mood. See, each smell has an effect that almost is associated with it, that follows it. So, like when I said myrcene is relaxing, you find that in a lot of indica strains. But myrcene can also be taste. Can also be same with limonene. Limonene, you can almost taste lemon. You can almost taste citrus, but it's also uplifting with the mood. And it tends to, just as a whole, lemonade is a mood lifter. You know, lemons have terpenes, botanical terpenes, and cannabis would have cannabis terpenes. And that's when people will start to refer to distillates having cannabis derived terpenes, CDT, or things that are derived from non-cannabis, which are BDT, botanical derived terpenes, as opposed to cannabis derived terpenes. I prefer the CDTs. That's my preference. I actually prefer rosin. So for me, it's this, or this is the disposable, what I showed you a second ago. Same thing. I prefer rosin. I prefer no chemicals used in its extraction. I prefer full plant medicine as opposed to an isolate or a distillate. So that's I think that's it. That's my top 10. You need to really look into the cannabinoids for pain relief. Cannabinoids understanding mental health and anxiety relief using CBD and a combination. That's it. That's I think the quick top 10-ish of cannabis. I'm I get excited to learn how much we can do with the medical understanding of cannabis. And I hate to bore people, but I tell them, look, you have to unlearn it. Forget everything you knew and start again. I've been releasing papers, um, things I've been sitting on for quite some time, and I've just been so busy. But I found the time recently to start releasing a few different papers where you can go to Oraganji.com, right down there, ORAGANJI.com. And what a shameless plug that I do for myself, absolutely. But right on the site, and I was going to pull up the site, make sure it's working mobily. And it is. Hey, it came up. Oh, it looks nice. There's a QR code. You may want to scan that. Great loyalty program. Just throwing that out there. Okay. Scan all the way down. Oh, released one today or this morning. The full spectrum debate. Why CBD needs THC to really create the magic in it. And so and then there's also, let me see what else. What other great articles do I have there? Oh, cannabinoid hypermesis syndrome. Are we overcomplicating the search for a solution? Cannabinoid hypermesis syndrome is something that happens to people with unknown causes. Now, when I say unknown causes, I've been smoking weed my whole life. I'm an old motherfucker at this point, and I've been smoking a long time. And I never heard about shit like this ever happening until like the last 10 years. The last 10 years is when we've started to see, commercial cannabis really start to take the forefront. And since commercial cannabis has taken over, we're seeing more cases of CHS, cannabinoid hypermesis syndrome. Now, with a lot of the effects that people are having because of CHS, these are the same effects that people in the grow fields, in the farms, in the greenhouses are getting after pesticides are sprayed or after high concentrate fertilizers, or if certain grow houses are using certain chemicals or anything for growth hormones or to enhance the growth hormones to enhance the growth of the plants. I've gotten reports from many people that I know working in the grow houses that they had gotten sick. They were experiencing the dizziness, and they had, they couldn't do anything but take hot showers or hot baths in order to feel good again. They were dizzy all the time. They would get nauseous. They couldn't eat. And a lot of these symptoms were happening after the spraying at their farms. And then when the farms stopped using these chemicals, people that were working in the farm were starting to feel better. They weren't sick with all these different symptoms. It's the chemicals that have a long lasting effect. So I wrote an article about CHS, how maybe we're overcomplicating the search for a culprit of this. The culprit could be chemicals, and even cannabis that's sprayed. Like, look, when you get hemp at a smoke shop, and I'm not knocking smoke shops, but when you're buying hemp and you're buying Delta 8, Delta 10, Delta 9, anything done from the male marijuana plant, and you see how dusty, or like they'll say, oh, this has been sprayed with diamonds, or this is diamond powder. This is all chemical. And you're smoking chemical. You're smoking shit that's been sprayed with shit on top of shit. Don't be smoking that shit. That's bad for your lungs and bad for your body. So when you look at the chemicals, and then you see how you might be feeling, like you're feeling overly high, or you're not feeling right, like it's harsh and it's making you nauseous, trust your body and don't smoke that shit. So that's when it cuts. So, and then the argument against the chemicals is that it's high THC, because of the advent of commercial grows and recreational. People are doing dabs and searching for higher and higher THCs to satisfy their THC craving. I feel maybe it's the growth practices, or maybe the chemicals that are added into the cannabis while it's still growing, in order to achieve higher THCs, or more resin, or more flavor, or more terp, more aroma. Maybe those products with such a high THC are causing a reaction. THC is just the glue. THC is just a bonding agent. So in that, a very high THC is just canceling out itself. You can only fill a cup so much. When the cup is done filling, it just overfills, and you excrete out the rest of that THC. You are excreting it out of your body through sweat, through pee. You can only get so high. Now, if you're taking an edible with a very high concentrate of THC, I can see getting dizzy. I can see getting sick. That's not CHS. That's not cannabinoid hyperemesis syndrome. That's called you ate too fucking much of a brownie. That's called you took something that was way too high THC, and you're going to be a little dizzy. You're going to be a little bit sick. And when you come down from your way too high of highs, because you've overfilled that cup, because you've overfilled your endocannabinoid system, and it's overfilling, the body's going to react, but not as CHS, not as cannabinoid hyperemesis syndrome. I think again that's so when people are feeling that from the flower, maybe that's a direct reflection of the chemicals that were not maybe not washed or not flushed from the plant before it was harvested. So that's a big deal. And I wrote an article recently on that. You can find that on Oregonji.com. Let me see what else we have. Ooh, rewiring the brain, how cannabis can help change Parkinson's treatment. And that's where I was talking earlier about THCV in a synergistic combination with CBGA to increase neuroplasticity, to rewire the brain. Okay. So again, you can find that article. And then there's a bunch of other great ones. But of course, if you're going on and of course, and also you can find all the previous episodes of the podcast, some very early on. I didn't realize, but we are like, I think approaching 100 podcasts. I think soon. I don't know what the number's at. Maybe we're in the 80s. That's pretty exciting. we're going to do a special giveaway for number 100. But I'll let people know about it. I'm not just going to spring it on you. Say, hey, it's 100, by the way. But thank you for joining me on this smoke session that we have. It's Wednesday. It's the middle of the week. This is a great time. If the week isn't going in your direction, if you're not feeling great about the week, then just let it go. Let it go. I have seen the triumph in like, all right, wait, before I jump ahead. Before I jump ahead, you look back at your week, and if it hasn't really been going in your direction, you don't feel great about it, take a deep breath and let it go. You don't have to carry that the rest of the week. This is your opportunity right now just to let it go, just to breathe and, okay, I can get rid of Monday and Tuesday and even today, Wednesday. The rest of that day is gone. If you don't feel it was working in your direction, it's done. Just you take it and you put it on that little imaginary table that holds the weight of the world. I mean, the weight of the world is being held on that imaginary table. But put it there. It does well for a disposable. I just feel this strain I have to pull really hard. But it's Wednesday, and this is your opportunity to kind of reimagine the rest of the week. Believe differently, see differently. I really want to find an exercise that I can. I mean, I know I talked about the ladder, but it's not enough. You know, there needs to be other exercises that we do to get ourselves ready before we lay down for sleep. You know, we need to really know what we're looking for. I know when manifesting, sometimes if I'm not concentrated on one thing, I will ask or try to open up the universe to so many different things. And it's too many for it to listen to. Too many things that it's trying to open my body up to. You know, oh, okay. So today I learned about the Freemason symbol. And it was just by happenstance of what it meant. And it's mind over body. It's subconscious over the conscious, over the physical. So it's, and that's the symbol. So the thing with the box, so it's got the I don't know what it's called. Anyways, like the triangle on top, but it's like a compass type thing, like a drawing compass. Okay. I don't know what it's called, but it's on the top and then like a box type symbol below it. So the box represents the physical and the triangle above it represents the subconscious or the non-physical, the I don't know what you want to call it, the ether. Okay, yes, the subconscious. That's what I'll call it. But when getting there, you know, you need to read. So I learned that today. That was about the Masons. That's interesting about their symbol. So they understand the relationship of manifestation, and they understand the relationship of now and manifesting the now, looking for the now, opening up your mind, your subconscious to those energies and to those things that you're looking for. And that's why I always speak of believing in what you want to manifest. So if you're going to ask 1,000 things, that's a lot. Start with something, start with one thing, start in one direction and do it for a couple of nights. Don't just do it one night and expect it to work. Don't just go into dreamland once with your subconscious asking and then wake up and be like, why is this not working for me? It's supposed to be working. Why is it not working? It doesn't work. It doesn't just work. You can't want it to work. You can't need it to work. You have to believe that it's already working. You have to believe it's already happening. That's it. That's it. That's the beginning trick. It's no trick though. It opens the universe to answering those things and bringing those things into your life. They're there for you already. You can have everything and anything. You can have all the love, all the energy, all the power, all the money, all the positive forward direction or negative direction, whatever you believe. But not to confuse yourself, start with one thing. One thing. And the universe doesn't know. Like if you're asking for money, you don't need it. It's paper. Who gives a shit? You really don't. I mean, it's yes, we need to pay bills. Yes, we need to keep the lights on. Yes, we need. All right, whatever. It's there. Use it. Just there, put it. You know, it's just money. And when you stop wanting or needing it, it flows right back to you. When you don't push for it or think of it, it's not even a thing. I don't spend money. I don't need anything. I mean, I spend digital money that I don't look at. I don't even think about it. It's I need it for gas. It's a necessity. I can't think twice. You know, the electricity, I pay it digitally. I need the electricity. Without the electricity, none of this synergistically works. So I don't really need or want. It's what's already going. I've let go and I continue to try to let go of so many things that can weigh a person down so that I can make proper decisions. So when I work, I am the best person I can be every time. I'm the most positive, the most energetic, the most informative, the most educational. And then when I'm back in my car, I can reflect upon my day. I can reflect upon things that are going on. I can call or I can answer, I can text, I can email. And then when I get out of the car again, I can be, the best possible educator and rep that I can be. So I think that's so bad for me. I need to get on the mushroom coffee, not this shit. I need mushroom coffee. That's delicious though. Just gonna throw it out there. Delicious stuff. So, what do I smoke? What would I like to smoke? What can I smoke? Did I clean this out last time? No. Is it really dirty? I can't tell. So, this would be my proxy. And I didn't clean it out last time. But I'm going to load something in it. I mean, it's not terribly dirty. So, this is the high alai. No, maybe it's not. Oh, it smells good. Whatever that is, I have to look. My eyesight's terrible. What is this one then? Okay, this is the high alai or high jai ali. So high alai, high alai, high life, like high life. So that's what this one is. And we're gonna take some. We're gonna drop it right in here. All right, we're gonna load this thing up. There's a little something in there right now, but I really like this one. This is really nice, interesting mood changer and lifter. And we're gonna do this. What was I talking about a little while ago? It's Wednesday, middle of the week. Great time to, again, drop the last part of your week and start new, start fresh, change up the energy mentally. I'm always changing up the energy. I'm always changing up the way I approach the week. Look, everybody looks at a Monday and they're like, oh, it's Monday, it's Monday. I'm like, why? The week already started yesterday. It started on Sunday. It's over. It's done. Boom. Monday's just like a Tuesday, Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, whatever. It's just a day. I put no emphasis on the day. I put no importance on the day, but I have put a lot of importance on this week. My youngest child had a great pizza party with her soccer team, and the joy and friendships that I saw forming between a team was amazing. I just sat there and watched in just awe. I think I don't I don't know if I haven't been that happy in a long time. So that was a big deal. I mean, I'm happy. Things make me happy, but that made me happy on a level that was just like, you know, deep, deep inside, memory and feeling. Something so that was great. It was great, and so for me, that's those important things. You don't want to miss kids growing up. You don't want to miss family time. There needs to be a good balance in your life of work and home and enjoyment. You need to find the things that make you authentically happy, and that's what this show mostly is. It started off a long time ago with Dualistic Unity. They're really quite large. They have a good audience, but when I started with them, I actually was helping them promote and educate and create their cannabis initiatives. Well, and then it ended up somehow where I ended up starting my own spin-off podcast, and I also had a co-host. And really, the mission of the podcast was finding her authentic self. And very young girl, I think she was like 20, young 20s, and she's up in Canada. So the different lifestyle and and she was in college in Canada, and the different things that she was going through. And then, of course, me, a cannabis guy in Florida, blah, 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 blah. But because of that show, this is so good. Citrusy, lime, almost like candy. And even though it was not a clean bowl, that was so smooth. Really enjoyed that. That was nice. So that's where the podcast kind of started ages ago now. And because of that, I kind of started this authentic journey of self, not knowing that that's what I needed, not knowing that's what I was looking for. So that's kind of where Highly Motivated came in, because in my authentic search of self, I really looked at positivity as like an end all. Like I'm positive and I can fake the positivity. And many times when I was super depressed, I would fake my own positivity to me. I mean, I'd do daily affirmations, but I wouldn't feel it. I mean, I'd be in the mirror and I'd be like, fuck this, and fuck this, and fuck that, and fuck it twice. Fuck this and bullshit. I don't want to fucking do anything, and the fucking world is fucking terrible. And I'm terrible, and whatever, I don't give a shit. Fuck. All right. I'm fucking powerful and I'm strong and I'm a fucking lion and I've got this and I've got this. I can do this. I can dominate the day. I can be a great salesman. I know exactly what needs to be done and what needs to be said. I know where I need to go and how I need to do it. Oh, all right, I'm going. I'm going to do it. Right there. As I'm not feeling it, I was telling myself I am, but then as I'm telling myself, I'm listening. I'm like, okay, I'm right. You're right. What am I doubting? Why would I doubt anything? Go. That's me kind of kickstarting the enthusiasm and energy for life. So positivity is a kickstart. Positivity is a quick igniter. Positivity is not the blazing unicorn that you ride in on. No, it's enthusiasm. And the guys at Dualistic Unity help me with that. That they help me see that it's my enthusiasm for life, for the energy of life. The enthusiasm gives me the energy. The enthusiasm gives me the motivation and the drive to to achieve, to change the frequency of myself and others all around me. I love the energy that I come into a place with. Like today, one of the offices I stopped at in town in Tampa, really kind of drab setting outside. It just started raining, so I pulled open the door and I was like, "Good afternoon, everybody." And there was only one person, the guy at he was like the receptionist, the medical assistant. And he's like, "Oh, we're closed." And he's turning around I'm like, "That's all right. I'm Oren. I'm here. How are you doing?" And he's like, "Hey, good afternoon. What's going on?" So then we talked cannabis education for like 20 minutes. We talked cannabis future for like 20 minutes. We were sitting there in a great community back and forth, updating on what I know about what's going on, what he knows what's going on. We updated about educational things because they have a very educational office, and their doctor talks to the patients in depth. Also puts out many papers and studies, and is just a powerhouse. So that's a great office to chit chat with. So that was at the end of the day, but the energy in there was just drab. And as I came running in, you could tell there's an energy that was following me. But I love that. And I love leaving knowing that I'm leaving energy there. I'm leaving a better mood, more excitement. One person working really hard and alone and tired needs to be held up on high and complimented a little bit, coming in, "Hey, you're doing a great job. A lot of people you're dealing with, and a lot of things you got to take care of, and da 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 da." Those are the things people need to hear. It's hard to work in an office on your own without many windows or no windows at all. Mm. Under fake lighting and long hours and many phone calls and the computer and this, there's a lot that really brings a person down. So they need an uplifting. They need a different frequency, a different vibration. And that's what I bring with me in a lot of places that I go. Boy, I'm doing a lot of rambling tonight. These sativas have got me like, don't even know what I was talking about. I really don't care. Don't care. Moving on. Talking synergistic effects, talking so many different happenings. But this is the Wednesday smoke sesh. This is us just getting together. And even if you don't smoke, it's fine. Not every episode is, it's not about smoking. It's not even about eating it or using it as a topical. It's just about coming together and having a little smoke. I think that's the greatest thing about highly motivated. You don't even have to be in cannabis. If you're just looking for a community to listen to or to join or to be a part of in a journey towards health and wellness, because it's not just about everything I talked about tonight was cannabis, but I really didn't touch on the health side of it. Because when I talk about cannabis, it's not just cannabis that makes the magic happen. It's the combination. And not just the combination of full plant medicine, but the combination of good health choices and good health direction. That's what helps change things. I think the big deal comes from, ooh, it's a lot of bubbles, shiny bubbles. I think for me, so the way I used it in combination, I was smoking and eating cannabis sativa raw, THCV, and I was smoking it as well. I was turning it into butter and putting it in all my food, making my own gummies, and that was THCV, the extended hydrocarbon. But at the same time, I stopped eating fast food. At the same time, I stopped eating bread. At the same time, I cut down my meat consumption by uh, by like 70%. And I started becoming more of like a pescatarian, or more, be fair, more really a pescatarian, one who, fish that only eat other fish. I heard it once, so then I stuck with that. Shrimp eat other fish, so I like shrimp. I know lobster does it too. So pescatarian only, if that's even really a thing. And I don't care. I'm sure everything is a thing these days. So, yeah. Also bad for me. Should not be drinking any of this. And originally, when I started losing weight, it was no sodas. no soda. And that's probably the cause. That and the coffee. I think the coffee is what's giving me this this tub of a belly that I carry around with me. But whatever. So thank you everybody for coming to the show, which is a combination of many, many things. And that's why it's not just about cannabis, but the combination of community, education, and better health choices. It's about not necessarily giving up everything. It's making small changes. Like, instead of giving up maybe all your fast food, give up 70% of it. Still have fast food, but it's in moderation. Maybe give up 70% of your ice cream. And I know it's a hard one. I can't. Maybe that's got to be the belly. That's where it comes from. It's the ice cream. I'm pretty sure. Give up small things. And when you give up those small things, it makes enormous changes, enormous ripples. So when you want to see things happening, excuse me, sometimes they don't come when you shock your body. Like when you shock your body and you jump into a diet, your body is like, whoa, what's happening? Hey, just what? Okay, save all the fat that you can, save all the sugars. Your body's going to go into apocalypse mode where it's just going to save and hold on to everything that it can. And so losing weight is a fighting battle. But if you start making small changes, you don't shock the body. You don't put the body into a tailspin and it doesn't start going into panic mode. Instead, it works with you. Like quitting smoking. I mean, I was smoking forever. And when it came to quitting, I had tried quitting, or I quit many times. And I'd always go back. And this last time that I quit, I've quit now for years. It's been years since I've had a cigarette. But this last time that I quit, I started gradually. So I was smoking about a pack and a half a day. So I cut it down immediately to 1 pack. And then that's the first week. Second week, down to a half a pack. Third week, down to just a few cigarettes. Fourth week, one here and there. Fifth week, when shit got rough, a cigarette needed to come out. And it wasn't so much but the nicotine. The nicotine was something I fought for a long time. So then to give up the cigarettes, I ended up vaping. And that was the worst choice I ever made because I think it really messed up my breathing pattern and it messed up my lungs. And it gave me popcorn lung for a period of time. I feel like it did, like where I couldn't get full breaths and I was getting like smaller breaths. So my don't do vape. Vape's gonna fuck you up. Do not do it. Now, what I do when I say don't do vape and I'm doing this shit right here, that's a rosin. It's different. It's different. I'm not. Look, this is a ceramic cartridge, so that I'm not smoking metals. I know where it's coming from. It's been tested by the state of Florida multiple times in the medical program. There's a difference when you're vaping nicotine. So for me, I had to vape nicotine for the longest time, and it was absolutely crazy that I couldn't get off of those Juuls and those nicotine bars. And I was smoking them like crazy and I was messing up my lungs. But I stopped smoking the cigarettes. So now it became about the nicotine and the oral fixation. I ended up smoking rosin vape to stop the nicotine addiction. Everything I smoked, every distillate that I smoked, distillate didn't do it for me. It didn't give me the feeling like I was smoking a cigarette, and it didn't give me that lift that my body needed to be like, okay, I'm cool. Shit's cool. So do I still have an oral fixation? Probably. Do I still, I still have to have vapes. I still carry them. I may not vape, but I carry them. See, you got to take full breaths. But I use things like mulin, whatever they call it, to help clear out my congestion in my air passageways. So because of that nicotine, and the nicotine controls your brain. It's a chemical, controls your eating habits and your patterns and your mood and your weight. And it's just crazy. So when I started smoking the rosin, which is chemical solventless extract. It's full plant medicine. Sativa, usually Durban mixed strains are the most fantastic. And I want to say Emerald Apricot may have like a little Durban in it. It's got a little Durban in it. I don't know how she got her in there, but okay. I'm sorry. Okay. Don't know where that came from. That was the only way I can give up nicotine. Nicotine had such a hold on me that it took a year after I quit cigarettes to get rid of the vape, which destroyed me, put me into an emotional tailspin. Like when I would run out and it would be a Sunday, I'm like, okay, I've got to go. And like, where are you going? Like, I got to find, there's only one store that's carrying this flavor. I have to have this flavor. I can't do this. I can't do that. How it would control everything I did. I was sick multiple times trying to get the nicotine out of my body. So instead, I started smoking rosin. This is a better representation of one. Let me just take this thing off. Sorry. Not sorry. This is Chimera 4. I'm so excited to smoke this one because this is a really good rosin from Goldflower. They do a lot of great things, but to me, their concentrates and their flower are second to none. I mean, second to none. They are fantastic. And it's really the love that the people put into it, that the growers put in, their extraction tech, their master hash extractor, and their head grower in the indoor, which is Troy. Just awesome stuff. So here we go. Let's give it a shot. Let's try it. Okay. Ooh. That's why I like that's a big difference. That's lovely. Great flavor, great feel. I mean, immediately as I hit that, I could feel the kicking in. Anyways, not sure even what I'm rambling on about tonight, but thank you again, everybody, for joining me. Wednesday Smoke Sesh. You can find me again Friday night, where we'll actually have an actual topic. Instead of me just rambling for an hour and a half, we're going to have an actual topic come Friday. What is it going to be? I know the excitement and not knowing what it's going. I don't know. I don't want to ruin it for you. But we are going to probably be talking about the cannabis event that's going on this weekend in Mount Dora, Florida. I will be there. I will be loud so you can't miss me. And if you do, ask around for the Oregonji. People will point you in the right direction. But I will be there this weekend. Renegers Flea Market in Mount Dora for the Cannabis Festival this weekend. Boom, boom, boom. All right, Florida. If you're there, go. Perfect. What else? Oh, I do want to send my love overseas to my cousin and his family. Gadi, I know you hear me. I know you listen sometimes. Everybody here in America is sending all their love to you. And just be careful. It's dangerous. We hear so much going on, and I'm sure you hear a lot more over there. So we just wanted to send love at the end of the show to you, and love to everybody. Love to everybody wherever you are. From my family, from my heart, from our energies to yours. That's what we're sending out. That's what we should all be sending out. That right there. So when we manifest, that's maybe we send out a little bit of love in our manifestations, a little bit of great frequency in our manifestations. I tell people every day, approach the day with kindness. Approach people, even if they're not kind, even if they're obviously wrong. And some of you know what I'm talking about. But even when they're obviously wrong, and that's what I'm talking about in soccer. In soccer, there's I have an itch. I'm not saying it's anything. I have an itch on my nose, just in case like you think it's code. It's not. I'm just saying, approach with kindness and understand that others' lives are difficult as well, and everybody's going through a lot. So that's it. 10% every day, a little bit more. Sometimes you can't do it. Sometimes you can't bring it. So you can't bring extra 10%. So just bring what you had the day before and be kind, be understanding. You don't have to be nice. You don't have to be a pushover, but just understand a little bit more. Okay. Be the kindness the world needs. And the world changes. The frequency changes and it just all becomes sweeter. Thank you all for joining me. Um, First Last with his uh, bowl of cookies and cream. He's taking it the wrong way, but welcome just the same. And everybody else. I appreciate you all. You're all fantastic, amazing souls, and take that